Happy Fantasy Friday. This is the Banter and Bookmarks podcast. We are Lindsay,
Kelly,
and Catherine, and we are three book besties diving into romantasy with unhinged theories and a bit of spice.
This episode is 3 of a 7-episode series covering Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. And today we're covering chapters 12 through 23, and there will be spoilers. We will be finding clues, making connections, and theorizing all things to come in Book 2, Rites of the Starling.
So pour yourself a drink, come escape reality with us, and let's talk about books.
Let's start off today by summarizing this set of chapters, which is chapters 12 through 23. Kelly, why don't you get us started?
Chapter 12. Odessa is still terrified after her encounter with the marrow eel, but she goes up to the deck to look at the carcass. The guardian is there, and Xavier joins them as well. She tells them that she wants a sword, that she wants to be armed against danger. Makes sense. Later, Odessa overhears a conversation between the two men, so she slinks into her room and hides there for the rest of the day.
Chapter 13. The ship has neared land, and the guardian tells Odessa that they will be in Tura before midday. He tells Odessa that in the meantime, he will give her her first fighting lesson. Afterwards, they make land, and the guardian welcomes Odessa to Tura.
Chapter 14, Odessa watches the Guardian have what seems to be a very familiar interaction between him and the Voster High Priest. As he wades through the water, glistening wet, very important to note, she tries to ignore her attraction to him. And a woman named Tilia introduces herself and tells them that their trunks will be transported separately and that they will be traveling by horseback.
Chapter 15. The group begins their journey, and Odessa is not used to riding on horseback. The guardian notices this and orders that they set up camp for a few days to rest. Oh, sweetie. Odessa enters her tent and sigh, there's a bathtub waiting for her. First of all, how is there a bathtub in a tent? I need to go this type of camping. Okay,
They have a high priest.
they do.
Foster fluid magic.
With fluid
I was
magic.
going to say, magic it up. The guardian comes to check on her, and they share some pretty deliciously scandalous banter. Later, Odessa tries to sleep, but is kept awake by a feral roar nearby.
Roar.
Chapter
that.
16. Odessa decides to explore the camp and quickly learns that Xavier instructed Tilia to shadow her. The guardian takes her place, and he tells her that the roar she heard came from a grizzer. They killed it, and Odessa asks to see the monster. Afterwards, Odessa makes her way back to her camp and notices Xavier, the guardian, and 3 warriors riding away.
Chapter 17. The next day, the Guardian is training Odessa, and he's not going very easy on her. He pushes her to her absolute limit, and finally, it is Xavier who puts a stop to it. The Guardian stomps away, and Xavier informs Odessa that he is leaving them, that he has business to attend to in Paris, and Odessa goes back to her tent and takes a bath.
Of course. Chapter 18. Odessa and her ladies' maids spend a terrifying day back on the road. They're sheltering against an outcropping of rocks, and the camp is attacked by bear wolves and then by a grizzer. The guardian emerges covered in blood from the fight. He has slain the beast.
Chapter 19. The traveling party finally makes their way to their destination, a treetop town called Triau. Tilia shows Odessa to her new home, and before she can settle in, the guardian comes to visit. After a testy conversation, he leaps from her balcony and lands easily on the ground. In his hand, her rope ladder. She is trapped in a treehouse.
Chapter 20. Odessa wakes up and her rope ladder is back. She climbs down and Tilia gives her a tour of Triau. After they eat, the Guardian comes to fetch Odessa for another grueling training session.
Chapter 21. Another day, another awful training session. When they're finished, Odessa walks through Triau and meets the librarian, Kathleen. Odessa borrows a few books and takes them back to her treehouse. And that night, she wakes up in the middle of the night to a lion wick scratching its claws at the bottom of her tree trunk. The guardian appears and tells her to kill. She doesn't, and the animal stalks away.
Chapter 22. The next day, Tilia comes to train Odessa. She pushes her, but tells her that she's improving. Afterwards, they go to the commons, and 50 armed men on horseback come tearing through the camp. They are escorting King Ramsay, and Kathleen warns Odessa to stay out of sight. The men ransack the library and burn it, and then turn and start to ransack the tree houses. Odessa's treehouse is in shambles, her crown and books gone. But she had hidden her journal and necklace, and they are safe. Unfortunately, the guardian sees that she had stashed them.
Chapter 23. A week passes by, and Odessa and Tilia continue to train together. Tilia asks Odessa to start running to work on her stamina. The Guardian shows back up and takes back over her training. During their session, the Guardian catches a young girl named Evangeline spying on them. They are interrupted by the sound of hooves riding into the camp. The child runs to Xavier as he hops off his horse, and as he scoops the child into her arms, she exclaims, "Papa!"
Surprise!
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 You're a stepmom!
Congrats!
Yay! Do
All
better
right.
than Margot.
Seriously, let's deep dive because that is what
Such a great moment. Yeah.
so good. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning now. Chapter 12. Odessa goes back up to the deck after the Guardian kills the marrow eel and saves her. And she notices that the blood is green instead of red. And she asks the Guardian about it. And he tells her that this one is a male. But we know that this is absolutely a deflection. It is not because he's a male. It is because green blood signifies that the monster has Lissa. It is also the first instance of a monster being drawn to Odessa. She also asks him why it didn't kill her, and he guesses that it was too focused on the ship. Maybe theory here. We've been talking about, is the necklace protection or does it draw the infected monsters to her? Maybe both. Like, could there be something in it that it draws them, but also it protects her? I don't know, but did the necklace save her? Did it attract the monsters? Is it both? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I don't think it's both. But I think that this scene with the marrow eel was pretty intentionally vague if you really look at it, because it brushes up against her leg, but it doesn't actually ever attack her. So you can make the argument that it didn't attack her because the necklace was protecting her, but then you can also make the argument that it was about to attack her and because it was drawn to her by the necklace. So
Sizing her
I think it's pretty intentionally vague that you can go either way at this point.
But to your point of the fact that, I mean, she's attacked by a ton of monsters, or she's going to be throughout this book. And it's almost, I wonder if the necklace attracts them, but there's something about her
Yes.
herself that means they don't ultimately kill her, because she has way too many close calls. Some of them, yes, because somebody protected her. But I do wonder if there's something about her that is this kind of innate protection within her.
I don't know.
I don't think it's protection. I do think that she is going to be the key, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But I don't think it's a protection like the monsters can feel. I think she gets really lucky, and the Guardian is always there for her.
You know, it's really interesting as well as we talk about these Lissa infected monsters that go after her. Guardian's really into her as well.
Yeah,
Sure
he's
is.
attracted to
He
her.
is
Absolutely.
sure attracted to her.
Yeah.
And he does want to bite her in a different way, though.
He does. But he doesn't want to kill her.
Nope, doesn't want to kill her.
I have a weird thought that maybe they know who she is and that's why they leave her alone. Like she almost has a power over the monsters.
That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You said it more succinctly, that it's like something about her that
the
makes
queen
them not
of
do
them.
it.
Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there is something about her that it's like I know who you are, and I ain't fucking with you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because if she is a redhead that turns into a crux, and even monsters fear the crux, I almost feel it's like a bowing down to her
Yes.
superiority type of a
Yes.
thing that is innately her, not the necklace. It's innately her.
Yeah, I don't know. During their conversation, the Guardian says there are other beasts to fear besides marrow eels. And Odessa asks, like you? And his chilling response, quote, not all monsters are born from gods, my queen. Some of us were made. So she notes us, and then that he considers himself a monster too, and she thinks who was his maker. Now, this is really interesting word choice because this could either compare him to the monster or to her. Not all monsters were born, my queen. Some of us were made. So, us as in you and I, that were something different, or us as in monsters.
Yeah.
So,
Ugh. Devney Perry is just a genius. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Oh, you're sorry.
I'm so sorry. She's such a
It's a nice
genius.
compliment that you're so sorry about.
I'm so sorry.
But one thing I do want to note about Odessa is she is very, very Lindsay coded. And she asks all of the
She
questions
does.
that we all want to be asked. And at some point later, Ransom is like, of course, you can't go 10 minutes without asking a question. Please go ahead, ask me another question. And so I love her questions. She's going to
I
continue
love
to ask
Odessa.
questions. She is fantastic. Thank you for asking your question, Odessa.
Yeah.
A moment to applaud you
Yeah.
for your questions.
Yeah, she is a very, in my opinion, a very mature FMC who is who she is and knows what she needs and knows where she is weak and is like, well, I'm not going to stay weak. I'm going to find out. Like, and I appreciate that about her. She is mature.
Yeah.
I'm going to
agreed.
train. I'm going to make myself stronger. I'm going to learn
Yes.
how to wield daggers and swords.
Right.
I'm going to change my future. I'm going to
Mhm.
become what I am meant to be.
Yep.
Xavier, fake Xavier, joins them on deck, and Odessa tells them that she wants a sword. She wants to arm herself, which is a very fair request in this inhospitable world she finds herself in. And the Guardian tests her by making her hold his own heavy sword. And she does it, falls on the ground while she does it. It's a bit heavy. She walks away and overhears the two men having a conversation, and she only hears little tidbits of the conversation. It's spreading. I know. Arming her is a bad idea. Probably. You realize she's going to try to kill you? Do you really think arming her is smart? I've had worse ideas. I do kind of like this, like back and forth that they do. They clearly
They're
have a close
cousins.
relationship.
Yeah, they're cousins.
You know?
Yeah.
And Odessa is worried that they have found out that she is there to spy, and then just decides to go hide in her room in case that is the case.
Pretty much.
Odessa hears birds from the ship and realizes that they must be close to land. Another pile of clothes has made its way into her room, so she gets dressed in pants and goes back up to the deck. Odessa asks one of the crewmen if they're close to land, and when he doesn't answer, Odessa wonders if they'd been instructed not to speak to her. That would be rude. And the Guardian joins her on the deck and tells her they will reach land by midday. Odessa tells him that he needs a shave, and he hands her a dagger, which I love because I was like, is she going to shave him with this dagger? Like, that was like
Such
my
a good trope.
my stupid little brain went there. But he hands her the dagger and he tells her that their first fighting lesson will be right the frig now. The first lesson is, don't let me take that knife from you. Odessa tries to dodge him, but the first time she falls, and second, he trips her up. It is not going well.
Luckily, one of the crew calls for him, so takes his attention away from continuing to trip poor Odessa. And Odessa asks why no one uses his name, wondering if he even has one. He responds, quote, maybe I'll tell you if you earn it. So obvious foreshadowing here to his hidden identity and his real name. He walks away and Xavier comes and joins her. She questions him about the crew, about why aren't they talking to me? And he tells her that they are allowed to. So we don't really know why they're not speaking to her, but doesn't offer any more response than that. So
I always thought that was weird. It's never addressed, and I'm just like, oh, they're just not talking to her, and I really don't get it.
I think she's a visiting future queen that has weird freaking eyes, and they're like,
I don't
Okay,
know,
but
lady,
Guardian
ask
has
someone else.
Weird eyes.
yeah.
That's funny.
Not another weirdo with weird eyes.
I'm telling, yeah, exactly.
Two of them now.
They make land, and the Guardian smiles at Odessa, saying, "Welcome to Tura, my queen." I love it.
Okay, side note, I love when he calls her my queen. I got the
it's so
oots
good.
every time he did
It's
that. I was
so
like,
good.
Oh, yes,
It's so good.
it
And
is.
Odessa notes that his smile is wolfish, menacing, and not attractive, not in the slightest.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not reading attraction into that at all.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
Mm.
They make it to shore, and Odessa wonders, quote, "Where would the ships go from here? There has to be a port for ships their size. Why hadn't we gone to a city? Why drop us here in the middle of nowhere?" That is a very valid question, Odessa. Another fantastic question. Thank you. She goes on to wonder, quote, if there was a town, it was camouflaged in the landscape. She also notes that Tura wasn't warm and welcoming, though it was beautiful, rugged, intimidating, but beautiful.
Sounds a lot like the Guardian to me.
Ooh.
Not
like
warm
that.
and welcoming, but beautiful, rugged, intimidating.
I do like
But
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
But beautiful.
Sure is the prince. Yeah.
Don't forget the beautiful.
Don't forget beautiful. Odessa finds the Guardian speaking to the High Voster priest, and Odessa thinks to herself that she cannot feel his magic, wondering if he was simply too far away. She says that their interaction, quote, was almost affectionate, like brothers. Now, this is definitely foreshadowing to the fact that the Voster is helping the Guardian fight Thalissa. They are very familiar. He is essentially trying to save his life, help prolong his life at least. But Odessa obviously does not know this, and she wonders if the Voster has gifted him potentially with his powers. She also thinks to herself, quote, my problems had started the day I run into Brother Dime in the castle's gallery, the day the high priest had floated into my father's throne room.
Kelly, when you said that a minute ago, for some reason, it really stuck to me. You're like, Odessa obviously doesn't know this, right? She doesn't know that his powers didn't come from the Voster. Odessa is very much an unreliable narrator in the sense that she doesn't know information. But I love it that the author plants those little nuggets of information in our minds. And as Odessa learns things, we learn things because, like Catherine said, she's asking those questions. She's looking for those answers. And so her narration and what we can believe of her really changes like as the book continues on, because she gets that information and she doesn't slough it off. She doesn't say, oh no, this isn't the truth. The second she gets a nugget of information, she really takes it to heart, even if it's something that is completely different from what she has known before. So I just love that information dump.
And she admits she's wrong. She's like, okay, well, I didn't get it right, but I got one piece of it right. And now I know this more information. So I'm going to now change my opinion. And we go along with her in this kind of learning journey, but she actively admits, I got that wrong repeatedly. It's almost like you said, the author is telling us, no, that was wrong. Let's keep going. Let's keep digging. We're not there yet.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great point.
Odessa also notices that the Guardian is carrying the Shield of Sparrows, like the actual document, with him, obviously keeping it in his own safekeeping. I'm guessing because he doesn't want anybody to see that it's signed with green blood at this point, right?
I think so, yeah.
She also sees him walking across the sand, pushing back his wet hair, his wet tunic molded to the strength of his chest, to the contours of his rippled stomach. Hello, Guardian Thirst Trap.
Uh-huh.
This would be in slow motion.
Yes.
In the
On the
movie
beach. What
TV
was that?
adaptation.
Mr. Darcy outside of the fountain, dripping wet. Basically,
No.
same scene.
No, I'm thinking of Baywatch. It was Baywatch to me.
Baywatch. It's very Baywatch.
Catherine's is very classical, beautiful love story, and mine is trashy Baywatch.
You're like, I
Love
want the fake
Love it.
tan
The little red
all the
shorts.
way.
The Guardian in
I
red
don't
shorts.
think I could picture him in red shorts.
It's a slutty little short.
Green
I love
shorts,
a slutty little
green
short.
shorts, Kelly. Green
matches.
shorts for
Yeah.
his Lissa blood.
There you go. Odessa overhears men talking about King Ramsay Wolf's militia, who is Xavier's father, and she kind of tucks that information away for later. And now, new character unlocked. We are introduced to Tilia, who is this gorgeous woman with bronze skin and braided black hair, and she has a sword. That's cool.
Women get swords here.
Yes.
That's right. And they begin their journey by traveling by horseback.
And it's not a one-horse trope. Not yet. This is the grueling single riding horse. And Odessa, she is not used to riding this far in a horse. And it is absolute hell on her body. And it's really sweet, though, that the Guardian does take notice. The real husband takes notice that his wife is uncomfortable, and he has them stop to make camp. And Odessa makes note several times, like throughout this entire chapter, about the Guardian's eyes. She says, quote, he didn't need a torch. Those ever-changing eyes must allow him to see in the dark. Yes, you are correct. Good job, Odessa. Another quote, his eyes shifted from hazel to green. It wasn't a blink like I'd seen before. The colors changing instantly. The green spread slowly, chasing away all the other shades. It bloomed like the heat beneath my skin. Yeah, because when it turns green, that means he's really, really, really happy about stuff. I think something might be blooming for him as well.
Lots of heat and blooms. Xavier leads her to this tent in the middle of the camp, and she is delighted to find out that there is a bathtub waiting for her. But who frickin' comes in, ruins her mood? It's the frickin' Guardian, who's not sexy at all. Okay?
No, he's not.
Not. And they have some really, really, really great sexually charged banter here. My lovelies, can you please banter for me?
Soar, my queen, we'll have to add riding to your training regimen. That or being ridden. I'll have a word with Xavier.
Check.
Which I don't have to, because that's me. Do you have anyone else to bother? Not today.
Need help with your hair? A rogue whisper caressed the shell of my ear. I whirled on the Guardian, planting my hands on his chest as I shoved him out, or tried to shove him out. That son of a bitch didn't so much as budge. Do you mind? Not at all, he smirked.
And then Odessa tries to speak with Xavier later, and she says that if the Guardian won't send Xavier to her, that she will go and find him, like find his tent herself. Then the Guardian's response is, feel free to wander into mine, princess. Xavier likes to share.
Which is actually accurate. Foreshadowing.
Yes, absolutely accurate. And okay, theory watch. She says, quote, he studied me like he was reading every thought that passed through my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not laid out on the page, I don't know what is.
Although, to be fair, in this instant, I think he could probably see her pulse rapidly beating, especially when she got to press against his chiseled body.
I don't disagree. I think that was on purpose. But
my husband likes to share. Like,
and don't worry, we're in the spoiler zone, but for anybody who's sitting here who hasn't read this and is just enjoying us talking about a book you haven't read, this is fake Xavier that likes to share. There will be no sharing of our MMC and FMC.
Which I don't mind sharing, but that's fine. Okay. Fine with it.
Note.
Be fine with it.
For Kelly later.
No.
Note for
Consensual?
Kelly.
Sure.
Well, I got a book and book club in a couple of months that you might like then.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, saved by the bell. Brielle comes in and breaks up the tension. Odessa can't sleep. I wouldn't be able to either. Hearing vicious and feral roaring coming from outside their camp.
So Odessa can't sleep. Brielle's in her bed talking in her sleep. There is no sleep to be had in this room. And she says in her sleep, quote, "Miss you." And Odessa wonders if she has a lover. Frickin' foreshadowing, she sure does. Your fiancé, Banner. Ex-fiancé. Odessa decides to walk around camp because she can't sleep and quickly realizes that the woman warrior Tilia is with her. And Tilia admits that Xavier has assigned her to watch over Odessa. So she's got a guard, private guard. Tilia tells her that they will travel next to Elder, which is a large fortress. And the Guardian joins her next, dismissing Tilia. She always has everyone's eyes on her, this poor girl. She can't do anything in private.
To be fair, I bet he wasn't sleeping either.
Oh, no. The 0% chance of sleep.
Odessa asks him about the monster, and he says that it is a grizzer, which remember is a bear thing, and that they killed it. And while speaking to him, she takes a good look at him. Quote, "His silence gave me a moment to scrutinize his face, searching for flaws. There were none. In a way, he looked a bit like Xavier. The Guardian was larger, though, his features more pronounced, bolder. But they had a few similarities: the straight nose, the slight hollows beneath cheekbones, the sharp jaw. How had I not noticed before? Were they related? Cousins, maybe? Brothers?" "You are correct, my darling. It is cousins," we will find out. And as she walks to her tent, she notices Xavier, the Guardian, and 3 warriors riding away from camp on horseback.
I have a question. Do you guys happen to remember if this grizzer was infected with Lissa? This was the one instance where with our whole, is it the monsters with Lissa that are attracted to her, or is it really all monsters, where I was like, I couldn't recall if this grizzer had it or not. And I want to say they might have been even silent on that.
I don't think he was infected, because I want to say this instance, the Guardian beheaded it, and so she saw its head and doesn't know. So like she definitely would have seen blood. If this is the correct one, I
can't remember.
Like
I'm trying to look it up,
90% sure it is. But it also doesn't necessarily say that it was coming after her. It was just attacking. So like this is one where it's like such gray area, because you can make the argument that it wasn't infected, but it also wasn't coming after her.
Right.
And that also, because remember, she wears the necklace, but she does take it off as well. And so when Kelly and I were talking about this whole, like, her own attraction, like the monsters infected with Lissa are attracted to her by the necklace, but they don't ultimately attack her, maybe because that's something innately with her. And so I was kind of musing if this is a situation where maybe it was a monster, just a monster, not one infected with Lissa, that was innately attracted to her herself, I don't have an
Or
answer.
if it was just attacking the camp in general.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Because that's been a problem. It's not like it's a new problem because she's around.
Correct. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I don't know.
Although there definitely seems to be a whole lot more monsters in Tora than there were in Quintus.
Sure were.
Well, Odessa and the Guardian are training, and it's rough. And more theory time. We have a quote here. "He could probably hear a cricket chirping on the opposite end of the encampment, or was he simply plucking thoughts straight out of my head?"
That one.
And then later, another quote, "I hate you. If he could read minds, I wanted that at the front. I hate you." And then we get a slow grin stretched across his mouth. There's my queen. To be fair, I bet her face, though, projected very much, "I hate you." Like,
but still, "there's my queen," that might be like a new micro trope for me, I think. welcome to Tura, my queen. I'm thinking that is a new microtrope that Lindsay's into.
1000%. I would agree with you. I'm going to jump on board that one.
Yeah.
100%. But I also like the idea. I think this is an existing trope where the guy likes it when the girl yells at him, because he was really liking it when she
Yep.
gets all persnickety with him.
Hold on. My
And-
light just fell. 1 second. Sorry.
At one point in their session, she says, "Thanks. I was certain I wouldn't earn any compliments today." And his response is, "Praise is for the bedroom cross, not the training ring." Hello, I'm okay with a praise kink. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I can tell by Lindsay snapping. She's
Okay.
okay with it.
Okay.
Okay, Guardian. Okay.
Okay.
Praise me in the bedroom, my king.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me earn it, sir. They train 4 hours, and it's excruciating. In the training rink, not the bedroom.
Well, Xavier finally comes and puts an end to the training, and we witness a power struggle between the Guardian and Xavier. Obviously, he is the true prince, so there would be some tension there, right? He's pretending that he has the power, fake Xavier, Dre, but he's like, watch it. Xavier tells Odessa that he is leaving the camp and that he has business to attend to in Paris. And there they go.
And the camp gets packed up and they start traveling again. And this time they are attacked by bear wolves, and all the Turin warriors survive. Then they are attacked by a grizzer, and the Guardian emerges from outside the campfires, having single-handedly slain the beast.
Whew.
So again, are all of these monsters being attracted to her for some reason? I think we're going to constantly be looking at that.
Yeah.
But also the imagery with all that blood on him and him like sweaty off the. I mean, I was liking it. I was liking it.
The Guardian is something else, let me tell you.
Anyway, Odessa notices the Guardian and Tilia are speaking, and they appear to be very close to each other. Don't worry. Odessa wonders if they are lovers, but we find out in the next chapter that Tilia is in fact married to a man named Halston, and it's one of the warriors that was with Xavier in Roslo. The Guardian comes to check in on Odessa, his queen, his wife, and he's gentle and tender. And as she walks away, she looks back at the body of the dead grizzer and notices that dark green blood is seeping from its slit throat. So remember, the marrow eel had dark green. So we've had many introductions to our monsters. Some of them are confirmed Lissa infected monsters, but monsters and monsters and monsters coming after Odessa.
Odessa then tells a story about how she was poisoned by fenek powder when she was 13 years old. And fenek are a fox-like monster, and their tusks are ground up to produce a poison. And this poison, this fenek powder, is illegal in Calandra. A maid had poisoned her, and after being caught, she admits that she was paid by a nobleman who had fallen behind on his debts to her father, the king. No one knows how or why she survived the poisoning. So let's talk about some theories here. What do we think?
It's because of who she is.
Yeah, like somebody knew something.
Yeah, I think this is a really important story. And I agree with both of you. I think that you both just said that, like, it's who she is. I'm pretty sure it's in her blood, but it also, you have to wonder if it really was a nobleman or if someone was trying to kill her.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think someone paid her to do this, but it was not just because he was behind on his debts. It was because of who she was.
They knew who she was.
Yes, 100%.
So my thought is that whatever is in her blood doesn't react to the fenek powder. And so I kind of think that her blood somehow or whatever in her body is going to end up being the cure to Lissa.
Yep. Totally agree with you there, because they
Yeah.
keep talking about this combination of magic and alchemy,
Mhm.
how, the alchemy of the different tonic met with the magic of the monsters. And I think she is also that kind of that
Mhm.
monster magic herself, but in a good
Mhm.
way, not like in a bad way, like in a reversal type of way, in a cure
Mhm.
way.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not convinced if it's going to be just her blood
It
or
would never be that easy.
it would be like a combination, like she's exempt from the fenek and another person is exempt from the marrow wheels and another person. And so, and they, since they, all of the monster blood was combined to create the elixir, all of these people's blood is going to be combined to create
Mm.
the cure.
Like an our powers combined, we are Captain Planet type of
Yeah.
situation.
Well, not like that, but
Not exactly that
in like
way.
a science sort of way.
Well, I do like the theme of this book. It's not just explaining everything away by magic. There is that
Mhm.
alchemy element to it,
Yeah.
and it's a combination of both. And I just
Mhm.
find that really fascinating. I like the science with the magic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Any other theorizing?
Speak,
Uh,
speak.
yeah. Well, it's not a fully formed theory at all, but it goes against, I think, what we've said about Margot before, of that, like, she actually cared about her as protecting her, because something about the fact that Margot was the mom's lady's maid and it was a maid that poisoned her. I'm like,
Mm.
is there any connection? And again,
Yeah.
I don't have more right now to put together, but it just gave me like a ooh feeling, and I don't know if I feel like Margot was involved in some way. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
She would have been queen at the time. Well, actually, we don't know that because
Yeah.
we don't know when the mother died.
Right.
That is
Uh,
not given to
right.
Yeah.
us.
I mean,
Oh, wait, no.
May is not that much younger than
Right.
Odessa is, though. So we have to assume it was
Pretty
pretty
young.
quickly that
Yeah.
she died and they got remarried.
Yeah.
Yeah, to your point, we can guess based on
Yeah.
May's age and correlation, but ultimately, we don't
Yeah.
know.
Right,
Mhm.
but if she was the lady's maid to the queen, she was in with the maids, and even if there are new maids,
Oh, yeah,
you're
yeah.
in with the maids. There's only so many maids that exist. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're in with that crowd.
Yeah.
You were pulled into this royal position, but you
Yeah.
started as a maid, and so I'm sure that you have people who are on your side or trust you. You know?
So,
Well, and I wonder if this is ladies' maid, like Regency ladies' maids, which are actual maids, or if this is more like I think about like court, like ladies' maids. I'm thinking
like
like
ladies
French
of other
nobility,
kingdoms. Yes,
right?
yes. Other titled
Or
people.
yes, or they're titled where they come. They're basically like the queen's friends, and they're
Yeah.
known as her, like her ladies in waiting,
Right. Right.
basically.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So like
Versus maid. Yeah.
maid, a lady's maid could go either way. Margot might have been,
Just a
you
friend from
know,
another court.
friend
Yeah,
from another
yeah.
court or of noble birth, and that's why she was allowed to marry the king in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Kelly, it's when you said that, my mind is like trying to argue the pro or con of the whole
Yeah.
Margot argument when you said that. And my only question is, if she was in league with the maids and this is Margot behind it, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, I don't have like fully
Mhm.
formed thoughts here, but why would she be dyeing Odessa's hair and keeping her out of the limelight
Yep.
if she was trying to kill her?
Yeah.
And she would have had
I don't
access
know.
to killing her
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
So that's my only
Yep.
I don't know. It just makes me wonder
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah. I
So-
don't get it. She does so many things that I'm like, well, she's
Mhm.
clearly trying to keep her safe, but does she also hate her? And
Mhm.
does she not want the blood in her hands? Like, she's dyeing her hair, but is
Mhm.
it because she hates the mother and she doesn't want to be reminded? And we're thinking that it's
Yeah.
a more positive reason, and she doesn't want the blood on her hands, and so she's. I cannot
Yeah, I
read
don't know.
Margot at all.
Yeah.
So to summarize, Margot either wants her alive or she wants her dead.
One of these two. One of those two.
Cool.
Great. We are great theorizers here
Great
at the Banter and
theorizers.
Bookmarks podcast.
Listen, we are just trying to present our listeners with all possible options.
Yes.
We are.
Yes. Yes.
And
All
watch,
right.
it's going to be secret lane number 3 that
C.
none of us have
Right,
seen
it's not
yet.
gonna be
Yeah.
Door number 3.
Yeah.
We promise you when we cover Rise of the Starling, we will do we were right and we were wrong.
That's
Yeah.
always fun.
All right. Along the road, Tilia sees Odessa drawing in her journal, and she tells her to tuck it away and not let anyone see her with it again. My assumption is because maps are forbidden, and so Tilia doesn't want people thinking that she's drawing a map here, right? Okay.
That was my assumption, yeah.
Yeah. So the journey is really getting to Odessa. It's really hard on her, but they finally arrive in Triau. And quote, I love Triau. It was a town built into a forest. Houses loomed above, secured to the massive evergreens. Some were connected by rope bridges. Others were unlinked, tethered to the earth by ladders. Love the imagery of Triau. It's so fun.
Which
And
I
Triau-
found the best. I sent a picture, I think, to you guys. The best YouTube like
Yes.
music rain video. It is Triau.
Yes.
It is.
It is.
It is so.
It's
it is perfect.
beautiful.
Yeah.
As I do my reread, I put it on in the background. I'm like, here I am.
Here I am in Triau.
But Lindsay, what else is there?
Triau is Tarkin territory.
Yay!
And
my favorite creature.
Tilia brings Odessa to her treehouse and she awkwardly climbs up the rope ladder. And Odessa notices that there's another treehouse tucked next to hers about 10 feet apart.
I wonder
So
who's
far.
supposed to sleep there. Interesting. Well, she goes to take a bath. I do appreciate how many baths she has. You know,
Yep.
we've been writing very hard.
And how many baths the Guardian interrupts.
Yeah.
Oh, you
He's
know
trying
why
real
he
hard to see her
interrupts.
naked.
Yeah.
Well, you are correct because he interrupts yet another bath. The Guardian is there and she says the most beautiful man she has ever seen. He would agree with you because the man in my brain is very, very, very pretty. He's very beautiful. They have some more banter, some quippy conversations back and forth. The Guardian admits that he does not trust Odessa. Fair. Then he leaps off the balcony, landing easily on his feet, like a superhero drop right there. And in his hands, Odessa's rope ladder. She is trapped in a fucking treehouse.
Direct quote.
Direct quote.
I love
I
her
am
sense
trapped
of
in
humor.
a fucking treehouse.
Fucking treehouse.
Yep. She's so funny. She has like very funny,
She is
dry
Mhm.
humor. Well, the next morning, she's not as stressed because she wakes up and her rope ladder is back. Interesting.
Ta-da.
She also finds fresh clothes in her wardrobe. He climbs down her rope ladder and is joined on the ground by Tilia, who takes her on a tour of Triau. And they see the commons where everyone eats together, as well as the mercantile, the laundry, the infirmary, and the library. Odessa
Hello.
eats in the commons, and afterwards she notices an adorable young child who has gray eyes and a cerulean starburst, indicating that she was born in Ozarth. We find out in a few chapters that this child is named Evangeline. So
I
cute.
love that name. I love the
Evie.
name Evangeline. I just think
So
it's such
cute.
a good name.
Yeah.
Yep.
A pony rider comes through the camp delivering the mail. And Odessa wonders, this could be a really good way for me to get information about Alisaria because they travel all over. Pretty smart of her to think
Yeah.
about. Doesn't work out for her in the end, but it still is a nice, smart thought.
Yes.
The Guardian comes to train her again, and just like usual, it is grueling. He tells her that he was an absolute terror as a child, which absolutely sounds about right.
That
And she
tracks.
noticed again that the color is shifting in his eyes as they're talking. And she also notices that he has engravings on his arm cuffs. And he tells her that he makes a mark for each life he has taken. Now, we know that these engravings are actually a map that he is drawing on his cuff, and he is marking each life of an infected monster so that he can see like where they're all coming from. So he's not actually lying to her in this moment, which I think is important.
Yes. Totally
Careful
agree.
omission of
Mhm.
exactly what life he was taking.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Odessa endures another awful training session with the Guardian, and afterwards, he kind of just disappears into thin air. So Odessa decides she goes off in search of Brielle and Jocelyn, whom she hasn't actually seen since they arrived in Triao. I wonder where those ladies' maids of mine have gone to. She finds them later and assures them that she will try to get them moved closer to her treehouse, prime real estate over here.
Mhm.
She meets a new person for us, Kathleen, the librarian, who has invited her to come and check it out. I like Kathleen. Kathleen is good. And Odessa is hoping to find maps or any information on Alisaria. As Lindsay said, this will be a fruitless endeavor on her part. But she does take a few books, including one called A Year in Quintus by Samuel Hay. And she is enraged when she reads the contents of this book. It claims that her father actually killed her mother, and Odessa knows this is completely untrue, as her mother was the love of her father's life, and that everyone knew that her mother was his true love. And remember the name Samuel Hay. It's going to come up again later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that this is a little bit of when there's smoke, there's fire, though. I think that these rumors would not exist if there wasn't a little bit of truth to them. So, yes, Odessa's mother might have been the love of his life, but that doesn't also mean he didn't kill her because he found out what she was.
Mm-hmm. Or he
So-
had to, or something.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
also have to wonder if it's also a bit of a red herring that she was killed or she is just gone.
Gone. Lost.
I do have to wonder
Yeah.
there if
Yeah.
if the mother truly is dead.
I agree.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, that night she has a nightmare about monsters and the crux. And when she wakes up, a lion wick is sharpening its claws on the trunk of her tree. And the guardian is on the balcony next door, and he insists that she tries to kill it. And when she doesn't, he lets it slink away into the night. And Tilia
Why do you think he did that though? Because he doesn't just want to kill animals in general. Was he just baiting her, almost making fun of her, you think, in that situation? There wasn't
I think
anything more to it.
No, I
I
think
think
he
he's
was trying to
testing her.
test her and see how far she would go, kind of see where her oomph is,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, are we going to ever attack the lion? I personally would not attack the lion. I'm not
Well,
going
if
to
it
kill
had
it myself.
Lissa,
And also remember, she's asking him for fighting, lessons and wants a sword, and he wants to see if she's willing to use
Has
it.
the medal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tilia tells her the next day that they didn't kill it. They trapped it and brought it back to the mountains to live in peace and keep the balance of life intact. So to me, that means that the lion wick was not infected. And so they didn't see the need to get rid of it, because I think the hope is you kill the infected monsters. It doesn't mean that you have to get rid of all of the monsters. So I kind of like that little tidbit.
This one, too, puts a mark in Catherine's thought that it's not just Lissa monsters that are attracted to her, but all monsters, because the lion wick is specifically sharpening its claws on her tree trunk. Now, that doesn't mean that it didn't sharpen claws on other tree trunks. So
Very true.
if it's not the case, again, it's pretty vague that you could make the argument either way here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the only other monster that I remember the rest of the book is going to be our favorite monster of all, Faze. Faze, being a Tarkin, is obviously very attracted to, but that could also just be its surrogate mom type of thing.
Right.
It's
It's a
she's
baby.
the caregiver.
Yeah.
It's kind of left open. But I want to say this is the end of just random monsters. I want to say from now on, I feel like it was all
I think
Lissa
they're all
ones.
infected after this point. I
Yeah.
think you're right. So Tilia comes the next morning to fetch Odessa for another training session. Lots of training sessions here, back to back to back. She is a little easier on Odessa, but she's still tough. She's still fair, right? And afterwards, they go back to the commons, And while they're there, 50 armed men on horseback come tearing through the camp. They are escorting King Ramsay, who is the crowned king of Torah. He is Prince Xavier's father. And he says, I take it my son isn't here. And Kathleen pulls Odessa back behind a tree and warns her to keep quiet and keep out of sight. So she obviously does not want Ramsay to see Odessa. The men burn down Kathleen's library, and then they start ransacking the tree houses, including Odessa's. They take her books that she borrowed and they steal her crown. Luckily, she has hidden away her journal, coin, and necklace, so those are all safe. And okay, that means she wasn't wearing her necklace here
Yes,
too.
I was hoping you would bring it up. She wasn't wearing it.
She wasn't.
And
Now, this is also the next day in training, so it would make sense that she hasn't been wearing it in training.
Right.
Because up to this point, she really hasn't worn it. She wore it on the boat, but it would make sense that she took it off during these training sessions. So she's not wearing it right now.
And to our point, though, it's after this when it becomes like just Lissa infected monsters. She's
'Cause she's
constantly
wearing it.
wearing the necklace.
Unfortunately, the Guardian sees her check her stash from his treehouse, so he now knows that she has all of these items.
Yes,
But
he
what's
does.
interesting, though, is he doesn't do anything about it. And if he saw it well enough, if his guardian vision is somehow strong enough to have seen that little, the pendant and what was on the pendant, he doesn't make any type of connection. But something that has bothered me and continues to bother me is they took her crown. Is that important? Like, they might have just taken her crown because somebody saw a crown and is like, I'm going to take it. But I think that's a pretty bold thing to steal the crown princess's crown. We don't hear about it again. And I have to wonder if that's at all important.
Yeah.
And can you look at your book, Kelly? There is a crown on your book. And I found it so very interesting. If you put a crown on the cover of a book and the crown is ultimately taken, what's not on the book? There's not a necklace. And we know the necklace is important, but there's a crown. And so I have to wonder if the crown is going to be important for some reason, because they make a point of saying, like, this is Odessa's crown. You wear your crown. And so it always has bothered me, the fact that the crown was taken and what happened to it, and is it important?
Yeah. I do think it's important.
This is the last time she has her crown.
Yes.
Yep.
It never comes back.
Never comes back in this book.
Because for some reason, I thought that it must have been before this, because Xavier, like Dre Xavier, gives it to her at some point.
On the boat.
On the boat. Okay. So at this point, he's already given it to her. So now the king takes it and it's gone.
Or one of his men.
Yeah.
One of these 50 men.
On
We don't know
behalf
who
of
took
him
it.
Right.
Yeah. And we don't know.
Were they just pilfering?
Right. Because I see a crown and she has said that it's worth so much. It could be, but yeah.
It always bothered me. The crown was taken and the crown is on the cover. And it seems like it had to have been important, because why put it on the cover? Wow.
Because they're kings and queens and royalty too. I mean,
true. Could be nothing. But I want to bring it up because we don't see the crown again.
We like to chase gooses here, so we're gonna bring it up.
Okay, but I'm gonna chase that goose a little bit further, okay? Because Catherine, I'm agreeing with you here, because if it wasn't important, he would have just tossed it into the water. The fact that she was like, oh, he must have tossed it into the water, and then he didn't toss it into the water, and then it was in her room, and then it was taken. Like, why go back and forth so much about this freaking crown if there's nothing there?
Yes. Why bring it up?
Besides being a red herring, I guess that is like a thing, but I don't know. It just...
Okay.
That's why.
Let's play off of that, though. He tossed something in the water because she heard something. So is there a possibility that he did toss it into the water and it was either retrieved or came back to her?
That is also possible.
He tossed something. She heard something.
She heard something splash.
She heard something splash. So
it could be.
And there's no crown on the Rights of Starling cover. There's two different daggers on the cover and a bunch of flowers, but there is no crown on the Rights of Starling cover. So could just be this was pretty. We put it on a cover.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I'm going to be reading Rights of Starling being like, where's her fucking crown?
Interesting.
What does it mean? I do not know. I cannot tell you.
know.
Well, a week passes by and Odessa is starting to settle into life in Triau. She trains with Tilia every day. Tilia also asks her to start running in order to help improve her stamina. And I kind of like I remember Kelly in our world building episode, you kind of mentioned there's a little bit of the pacing that was tough for you at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
I hear you in that, but I also think this kind of constant reminder she is training, she is becoming her own person, she's building up her strength. It was necessary for her to become this believable character that she ultimately comes at the end of the book.
Yeah.
She's been sitting on her butt in a castle, not allowed to do anything for an entire life. So she needed to take the time. So I do kind of appreciate that Devney Perry took the time to build her up strength.
No,
it's very
I totally
training
agree.
montage.
Yes, it is. I totally agree. I think it is more believable because it took so much time. I just wish a little bit more would have also happened in that time in addition, but I hear you. And I think that I honestly think that is the perfect reason for it to be the pace that it was. So, yep.
I get like you said, Lindsay, training montage. Let's get down to business.
For sure.
Yep.
To defeat
the monsters.
I was gonna say it.
Well, the Guardian interrupts their session, saying he's going to take over now. They, of course, spar and banter and spar some more. And Evangeline, this young child that Odessa saw in town a few chapters earlier, is caught spying on them. The Guardian tells her, Evie, that she needs to go back to Luella for her lessons, but Evie says they're boring. But then horses come thundering into the camp. Xavier is among them. He jumps off his horse. He scoops up little Evie into his arms. And as he does, she exclaims, Papa! Plot twist! Xavier got a girl? Got a child?
Were you guys surprised?
Yeah, this one I did not see coming. Yeah, this this one shocked me for sure. Yeah.
My very first thought was, because obviously we don't know the parentage of this child. And I was like, is this another secret? Is this another? I like the way it went, but my first reaction was,
someone else is going to come in the mix. Yeah.
My reaction was,
what? I actually thought it was going to end up being the Guardian's child. That's what I thought.
Exactly.
I it's going to be the Guardian's child. And then I was like, oh, it's Xavier. It's like, that was the part that shocked me. I think I read it a couple times. It's like, wait, who was she saying Papa to? Because I was like, oh, I knew it. No, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Nope. That's not what I knew.
That's funny.
All right. Well, that is a wrap on episode 3 in our coverage of Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Next week, we'll be covering chapters 24 through 33.
Be sure to like, follow, rate, and comment on our podcast wherever you are listening, and follow us on our social media channels so that we can find more unhinged fantasy readers just like you.
We also have a Patreon channel. For $5 a month, you can now be a book dragon. Our monthly subscription includes a monthly book club, often featuring the author, early access to episodes, membership to our private Discord channel, merchandise discounts, and free hugs at events. So come and join the fun today.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. Happy reading. Bye.
Bye.